You're listening to 772 Sports, a local Treasure Coast sports podcast highlighting everything from Little League to the NFL. Here are your hosts, Curtis Carpenter and Mike Higgins. All right, everybody, welcome to episode 3 of the 772 Sports podcast. I'm Curtis Carpenter. I'm here with Mike Higgins. What are we going to talk about today, Mike?
Oh, man, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk Dodgers, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Little college football. We got some high school football. I don't know, man. I'm going to complain a little bit about my Dodgers today. So.
Mike's mad. Mike's mad. All right, well, join us. The very first segment we're going to do, a little Treasure Coast chatter. Here we go.
Let's go.
Treasure Coast chatter. All right, this is a little segment we like to call Treasure Coast Chatter, where we go around some of the schools in the Treasure Coast. Usually, we're Vero homers. Talk a little bit about John Carroll, Sebastian, and St. Ed's. But Mike, what do you want to start with in Treasure Coast Chatter?
So we're just going to probably... Do you know who John Carroll plays as? We don't have much to talk about them. They didn't play last week.
Yeah, John Carroll's game against Tradition Prep got canceled. Summertime weather in Florida on the Treasure Coast is super unpredictable, and storms last week killed a bunch of games.
Yeah.
But they play South Fork tomorrow, September the 16th. Today's September the 15th.
Yeah.
It should be out today. So, yeah, they play South Fork. I know nothing about them except that when I played as a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
And we played there, and it rained like earlier in the day, and it was literally like a mud bowl.
Yeah.
That's all I know about South Fork.
Yeah, I don't think I think JC should walk through that matchup.
JC looks good.
They're good, man.
They're
2-0.
Good.
They're a pretty powerful program right now. I like what they're doing up there.
Yeah, again,
down there. I guess.
Yeah, down there. We talked about how losing Jay Allen, what's going to happen, and I think they found the ground game.
Yeah,
so, they're going to just churn and burn and run it up. And we'll get Coach Mickey Grudy in here sometime as a guest to talk a little bit about John Carroll and kind of what their game plan is and what the strategy is with all that. But
I like it, man. I like it. Do you want to go straight to St. Ed's? We'll end with...
Yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, John Carroll plays South Fork tomorrow. They're 2-0. The game last week got canceled against Tradition Prep.
Yep.
I don't know if they got rescheduled or not, but anyway, we will keep you posted on the results from tomorrow in next week's podcast.
Yep.
Next up, Sebastian plays St. Ed's tomorrow.
I like it.
This is cool.
So they're both independent schools, right?
Well, Sebastian definitely is.
I think they're pretty sure St. Ed's is. I was looking up some of the stats yesterday on Max Preps, and I could be wrong.
So we talked about this in previous podcasts. Sebastian is an independent school, so they're not 1S through 4S or 1M through 4M or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
They basically play out their regular season, and it's over. There's no playoffs. There's no state championship. You pack up your bags and you go home. Is that the same for Sebastian?
It says district for them is freelance, so I'm assuming that that's the same.
Sounds
the same deal.
Now, private schools are a little funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're FHSAA, sometimes they're not. I'm not super familiar with St. Ed's. Again, we talked about getting one of the St. Ed's guys on as a guest as well.
And we will. He wants to come on, so
good.
We just need to schedule it.
Yeah, Jason Redmond, his son Dylan, is just straight balling out, as the kids say, at St. Ed's, and he's having a hell of a season. And we were talking about maybe going to the game tomorrow. We got to figure this out, Mike. We got to go.
Are they at Sebastian?
I don't know where they are. It
looks like they're at Sebastian. I think I would. That would be something good to go to if we can
go.
If we can work it out. That's
all right. We got to figure this out.
Little in-town rivalry.
Yeah, we got to into independent school, right?
Yeah. They're both 2-1. So St. Ed's is a little funny, man. Like I think they're a really good team. They gave up 54 points in the first week against Jupiter Christian and something like 30 points since in the next 2 games. So
that's a lot of points given up, though, Mike.
I think
for a team that's really good, that's a lot of points given up.
It was first game jitters, man. I think Jupiter Christian is pretty good too.
54 points.
54 points in one game,
Mike. That's not good.
It was the first game jitters, man.
Okay.
I'm taking St. Ed's to not lose anymore during the regular season, including tomorrow against.
They're going to beat Sebastian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like the Redmond kid. I don't really know much about either team, to be honest. I know their records, and that's really about it. Again, I like the Redmond kid. I'm going to root for him. I hope he does well.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody at Sebastian, so yeah, go St. Ed's.
Yeah, we've sort of been it's just a little bit harder to find stuff on Sebastian, I think. I don't.
Sebastian, you're going to complain later about the Dodgers. I'm going to complain right now about the Press Journal, TC Palm, whoever it is. I love those guys on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right? Cooney's great, and
Yep.
Santucci's great, and all these guys are great. And I understand there's a budget issue, but when it's Saturday,
Yeah.
and you are scouring the internet. I mean, and listen, I'm not an idiot when it comes to digital,
No.
finding
Beach
things.
social media.
Yeah, I own a marketing company that specializes in digital ads.
Shout
I should
out.
be able to find some stats on
Yeah.
some games that were the night before. When I was a kid, you open up the paper at 6 a.m. on
Yeah.
Saturday, you got all the stats right there. Today, you can't even find them online.
Yeah.
What the hell's up
Do
with
you
that?
guys still get a paper?
I get a paper on Sunday morning.
Okay.
So I have the Sunday subscription where I have
Yeah.
24/7 digital access, and then we get the Sunday
Yeah,
paper.
we get the digital. I've not been able to find. The only place I can find stuff is Max Preps.
Right, but
I
that
don't know
is
how accurate
user
they are.
input.
Right. I think the coaches for the team put that in.
Okay, and I like that, and it's accurate,
Yeah.
but it's 4, 5, 6 days later. And listen,
Right.
I'm not trying to blame the coaches; they have other shit to do,
Sure.
right? But yeah, I got a problem.
Yeah.
I got a problem, and you're all gonna hear about it.
I seen you sort of rant about it on social media. I don't remember if it was Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, and then
but
Del Tufo wants to come in and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, I found the box score." No, you found the score.
Yeah.
That's not the box
Yeah, no, we can
score.
find the score. We need
yeah,
some
I was
stats.
there. I know the score. but for instance, and we'll get into this, but a guy had what I saw at the game as a 72-yard rush.
Yep.
But they gave him receiving yards for it. So it was probably a little pitch forward, but that's important stuff.
Right.
When you're talking about a podcast and you're recapping games and you
Right.
want to research this a little bit. So anyway, Cooney, Santucci, love you guys. I love what you do on Twitter. I'm not sure how you solve this problem in today's day and age where, the print media just doesn't have the budget, but somebody's got to solve this problem.
Come on the pod. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll figure out how we could fix this thing.
Yeah, for sure. Again, love you guys. We got to fix the problem. So anyway.
It's Vero's huge. There's no reason that we shouldn't be able to find a box score for Vero football is
Right.
big. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
I
They sell
think so.
out every week. I mean, the parking lot's full. The stands are full.
Yeah. So
we got to find some stats. So
all right, we digress. St. Ed's play Sebastian tomorrow.
Yes.
We're going to figure out a way to get there, I think.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have plans, but I may change those because I want to go watch
well,
this game.
I'm a huge college guy, and it's Florida State Louisville tomorrow night.
I didn't even know that. I thought it was Saturday.
Come on, man.
I'm a Florida State guy. I didn't even know it was tomorrow night. I thought it was Saturday.
No, Friday night game.
Oh, awesome. Well, we're probably going to lose. I mean, Louisville beat UCF, and we're probably not much better than UCF.
But Louisville lost the first week. We talked about it.
I know they look bad.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to
All
go.
right.
I guess we'll see in our picks later.
All right.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. We got a long way to go in this podcast.
Yeah.
All right, St. Ed Sebastian tomorrow. You want to talk a little bit about the
man.
Vero victory?
Yeah, so you were there. Why
I
don't
was
you
there.
tell me your thoughts?
My thoughts were again, Florida weather is unpredictable. Game was delayed 30 minutes, and it was soaking wet. First drive for Jesus, I can't even remember who they played. They played PSL.
PSL, yeah.
First drive for PSL. The first 3 snaps go over the quarterback's head. It is like 4th and 100. And they punt, and Vero gets it. They march right down the field and score. By the way, everybody talks about Aronson, the quarterback, and everybody talks about Jacobs, the receiver, who had phenomenal games. But this running back, Quincy Rogers.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I looked up some numbers on him. He's
Bro,
good, huh?
he is good. And the kick returner, Woolard,
Yeah.
man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Aronson and Jacobs are weapons,
Yeah.
but you got to keep your eye out for these other kids,
Yeah.
man. These guys, I mean, again, I didn't know who they were. I'm looking
Yeah.
them up, trying to figure out their numbers and all that. But this punt returner, he had an 86-yard punt return where I think he literally dodged 11 tackles. Woolard, he was amazing. And Rogers, I mean, he's just, they say 3 yards in a cloud of dust. He was like 9 yards in a cloud of dust. I mean, he was just running through tackles and bust in the middle. So it's like, if you're a high school defense and you're like, all right, well, we're gonna stick 8 in the box and we're gonna stop Rogers. Well, all right, Jacobs is gonna beat you.
Right.
He's just gonna beat you.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna play, a nickel or a dime defense, and we're gonna stop Jacobs. Well, they're just gonna hand it off to Rogers, and he's just gonna run it down your throat.
Yeah.
How the hell is somebody gonna beat this team? They won 62-0 against
Yeah.
PSL, who was supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah. Coach Jankowski has a good squad, man. He's anytime you got multiple D1 commits already, you're
Yeah, well, I mean, the quarterback's going to SMU. Jacobs going to Florida State. I don't know if Rogers or Woolard's.
There's another guy. There's another guy being recruited. I looked it up and I forgot. I'll have more. I plan on doing some of the recruiting stuff next week. Who on Vero is getting recruited? I know those two, and it had to be Rogers. There's a third guy getting recruited pretty heavy by some big programs, and I'll have more on that. I planned on doing that next week. Sometimes getting a little bit more into the season, you can start seeing stuff a little more. But yeah, they dismantled PSL.
Oh man, I think we left at halftime, or we watched the band and all that, and then we were like, all right, yeah, we're gonna go. It was like 49. I think it was 48-0 at halftime.
So, and it's impossible to get defensive stats, but we got to talk about them only giving up 6 points for the year.
Yeah, I
through
mean, the
3
shutout.
games.
They pitched a shutout against PSL. The defense looked really good. I
There.
mean, listen, they're getting pressure on the quarter. Again, wet game. Center wasn't
Yeah.
really on point. Again, bad snaps. But the quarterback never at any point, and again, I don't know how many yards they gave up passing or rushing or not. And then in the second half, I'm going to guess a lot of backups played. I mean, Aronson only went 6 for 7, and they had the backup come in. But, man, it was like the quarterback for PSL never had 1 second to really set up and throw the ball.
Yeah.
And then the running game, of course, obviously with the numbers, I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't going very well either.
Yeah, Van Jacobs' numbers on the year are crazy, man. He's 18 catches for 368 and 7 touchdowns.
So 18
Through
catches
3
for
games.
368, little back of the napkin math, that's 20 yards a catch.
Yeah.
And how many touchdowns?
7.
Seven. So
7 of
18
9.
catches, 7 touchdowns.
7 of 9 passing touchdowns from Aronson have been to Jacobs.
Interesting.
So-
yeah, I mean he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's a great athlete. I mean, again, there was this little 72-yard. They called it a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, we were talking last night. You said you thought it was a run, but then
I mean, I was in the stands. I was kind
Sure.
of far away. I was on the other side of the field, and it looked like they handed him off. My guess is it was a little like 2-yard shovel pass or something
Right.
to him, but it looked like he was going to be stopped in the backfield.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he just dodged 4 or 5 different tackles and down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch.
I would think as a quarterback you're gonna take them receiving
Oh,
yards, passing yards, huh?
Well, Aronson had I don't know, what do you have, like 144 yards passing. Well,
Yeah.
half of them,
Yeah.
literally half of them,
Yeah.
were on that one play.
Yeah,
So,
I mean that's not bad for a half of football.
yeah,
So-
yeah, exactly. And then I didn't see, but the backup was like 7 for 7.
Yeah, I saw that too. I looked it up. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So when you're 13 for 14 and passing in a game, you're probably going to do okay.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's 38 for 53 on the year, 578. Aronson,
Okay.
9 touchdowns, only 1 pick.
I like it.
So
I
9
like
to
it.
1 touchdown to interception ratio is good.
Well, like we talked about, the common argument against Vero football is they play nobodies in the regular season and then they lose in the playoffs.
Right.
But like I said, they play 8 teams this year that made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if PSL was one of them, but if they were, I mean, it looked like a Pop Warner team.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to PSL, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but you just didn't look good.
Yeah, no,
and that could just be because Vero was so good. But
maybe the rain. I don't know. I don't know what kind of offense PSL runs, but the rain could have had a big. But you can't. I mean, Vero passes a lot, and they were still fine with the rain and everything. So
Yep.
I don't know. So transitioning, they play. We got Westwood this week, right?
that's right. They play Westwood. All right, so Vero is, and I have these numbers somewhere. Vero is ranked number 43 in the state and number 8 in 4S. Westwood, who they play tomorrow, is ranked number 293
Yeah.
in the state
Yeah,
and
30
number 36
Yep.
in 3S.
Yeah,
So,
it's.
is it going to be 62-0 again?
I don't know,
we
man.
should put that in the factor cap.
They're-
Vero wins
they-
by 70.
Westwood's
Factor cap.
2-0, so they haven't lost yet. But man, they've given up 21 points on the year. So I'm eager to see what their defense can do. They've only scored 48, so their offense must not be. I mean, Vero scored
62 last game.
150. Yeah, I mean it's
Vero scored 48
Yeah.
in the first half Friday.
and just to give some context too, Westwood has played Royal Palm Beach and South Fork, and I South Fork I don't think is.
Well, like I said, it's Mud Bowl, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's
That's
hard
who,
to get
JC
stats
plays.
through that, but yeah, that's.
Yep.
So I guess we'll see a little more about that, but I'm looking forward to that. It's always a fun game. It's one of the closer schools to us, Westwood and Vero. So looking
Well,
forward.
they're kind of rivals. I mean, sort of. All those 4 peer schools in Vero always seem to go at it. So, anyhow, so we'll see how it shakes out. We'll give you guys updates and hopefully some stats next week on this week's games.
Yeah,
but,
we're gonna do some recruiting stuff too. I love recruiting, so I want to figure out who all on Vero is getting recruited by who, and see what kind of D1 talent we have on there. We know 2, so we'll see who else we have.
All right, you have anything else for Treasure Coast chatter?
I'm good, man.
You ready for some college football talk?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. College football gridiron gab. All right, this is a segment we like to call Gridiron Gab. It's a little college football talk, which is really Higgins. College football is your baby.
Man, I'm a huge college guy, so yeah, I love the whole podcast. When we started talking about it, I'm like, yes, I get to talk college football. I talk about it to Vicky all the time, but she doesn't care about college football really. So
Well, that's like when I talk to my wife about pretty much anything with sports. She's like, "Oh, okay, that sounds great, honey." So
yeah, I mean, she listens and she'll sit there, but then it's like I can tell she's not really.
right. So, let's start off with Miami.
Yeah.
That's your team. You're actually wearing a Hurricane shirt right now.
Yeah, man, I gotta represent.
Yeah. So, what happened in the first half of that game? Well, let's talk about the result. Okay, so they won.
Yeah, they won.
Okay.
They won pretty handily in the second half. It's really they just were not playing good. There's no other no other way to put it. I mean, they ended up winning pretty good, which is fine. They struggled. I hear, and I don't have an insider to the program or anything like that, but I hear they're just keeping the offense as vanilla as they can until we get into the game this week against Texas A&M.
All right. Well, again, Miami beat Southern Miss 30-7, but at halftime it was like 10-7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was close.
And Southern Miss, they had Frank Gore's kid running.
Yep.
How'd he do?
He didn't do anything.
Okay. I was going to say.
They completely shut him down.
I think the quarterback actually had a decent game. But, yeah, Frank Gore, 7 carries for 10 yards. They really shut him down. But that opened up things for Wilkie, the quarterback. He went 16 for 27 with 207 yards and a touchdown and a pick.
Yep.
So, listen, not a phenomenal game. You look at those stats and you don't think, hey, yeah, he blew the doors off of anybody. But remember, he played Miami, who's a really good team.
Yeah.
I mean, they're where are they ranked now? Like 13 or so?
Yep. They're no 15.
15. Okay.
No, they're 13.
Okay, I don't know where they are. They were 15 when they played last week.
Yeah, they're 13. They were 15. They went up to. They're 13 now. Yeah, they had it. Southern Miss had a wide receiver named Jarvis Brownlee that kind of went off. He had over 100 yards. So some things to clean up for sure. But I like where they're headed. The Tyler Van Dyke came out and said
Tyler or Taylor?
Tyler.
Okay,
Tyler Van Dyke. Nope, Tyler. Get it? We'll get it right by the end of the year. Van Dyke came out and said, they're keeping things pretty vanilla right now. So I'm eager to see. Josh Gaddis, their offensive coordinator, came over from Michigan last year when he was the Broyles Award winner for top assistant in football. So he obviously knows how to call an offense. They have looked really, really vanilla to me. So I'm eager to see what they do this week.
Yeah, well, this week, massive game for both programs.
Yep.
Miami is playing Texas A&M.
Yep.
Jimbo Fisher, hot seat. Is this a must-win for Texas A&M?
Man, after that Appalachian State loss, which kind of killed the luster of this game, so
right?
College
Texas
game
A&M
day
was supposed to come 2-0. Miami was going to be 2-0.
Yeah,
This is going to be a big game.
It was 13 versus 6, 13 versus 5, something like that. And
Texas A&M paid Appalachian State $1.2 million for them to come in and curb stomp them.
And College game day straight up came out and said, we're going to Appalachian State this weekend to see Appalachian State versus Troy instead of going now to Texas A&M, who just got beat by Appalachian State. So it kills a little bit of the luster of the game, but still a huge game for Miami.
So I'm going to make an argument right here.
Okay.
This is a must-win for Texas A&M. I've got some stats.
Okay.
All right. In the first 50 games of Jimbo Fisher's tenure at Texas A&M, what do you think his record is? And I'm not, just kind of off the
50 games?
50. He's coached 50 games. What's his record?
We'll say 30 and 20.
He's 35 and 15.
Ooh.
Okay, that's 35 and 15.
Yeah, for what they're paying him.
The guy before him, Kevin Sumlin.
Yep.
In his first 50 games, 36 and 14. So they fired Kevin Sumlin for Jimbo Fisher, who again, I am not a fan of. I'm a Florida State guy. Jimbo Fisher put us a decade behind the other Florida schools. He's worse than Kevin Sumlin was in his first 50 games. That stat blew my mind.
Yeah.
All right. So, if Jimbo loses this game, he's 35 and 16.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
He's almost like only 667, almost 700 win percentage, which in college football, if you're not 800 or 900 winning percentage, you're probably not good. So, here's the dilemma. He's got a $90 million buyout.
That's what I was going to ask.
$90 million if Texas A&M wants to let him go.
Yeah.
So, what if he sucks?
Yeah.
And what if he loses to Miami? And what if they go, 6-5 this year?
Yeah.
Or 7-4, and they finish in the basement in the SEC.
Yeah.
What happens? What does Texas A&M do?
Texas A&M has some of the deepest pockets out there, but how much? 80, 90?
90 is what I read. I read $90 million
buyout. Yeah. I think you're going to have to be stuck with him for another couple of years. I mean, at some point, the buyout, it continues to drop. I don't know. That's amazing, especially with the recruiting classes that he puts together.
$90 million is like, I don't know. I think I read that the Chicago Bears have the lowest annual salary in 2022, and it's like $130 million. So like an entire NFL team makes not even double what the buyout is for this guy if he sucks.
Yeah. So right here on the pod, are you calling hot seat for Jimbo?
I'm saying,
or is it too much money?
I'm saying that if we don't want the conversation to be, is Jimbo gone for the rest of the season? He's got to win.
Right.
Now, I've seen Jimbo in must-win games. Again, he did it a lot at Florida State.
Yeah.
He wins in must-win games. And we're going to get to pick'ems.
Yeah.
But I'll be really, really curious to see what happens tomorrow or Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday at 9 p.m.
9
have to take a
p.m.
nap. Yeah, they're in
Jesus.
Texas. I guess maybe that's...
It's a 1 hour difference.
Yeah, so it's prime time there, 8 o'clock.
West Coast bias, as I like to call it.
I'm gonna have to stay awake for that one.
All right, so that's the Miami breakdown.
Yep.
The other game I really want to talk about, Alabama, Texas.
Yeah.
Last week was unbelievable. If you didn't watch it, if you're a college football fan and you missed that game, you missed what I would call the game of the season. Texas really should have won. There was a safety that got called back for
they called roughing the passer on
a bogus roughing the passer penalty. Texas scores with about a minute left. Alabama comes back. Bryce Young, who looks tremendous, by the way.
Yep.
For Alabama, marches them down the field. They kick a field goal. They win the game. Game over. Alabama guys coming out with the horns down, and Nick Saban's yelling at them after the game.
Nick Saban is amazing.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, Alabama squeaked by, but as I've said all season, they are not the number one team in the country,
and they're not anymore.
They shouldn't be.
Georgia leapfrogged them. I think Georgia is the number one team.
Well, before we get into Georgia, any takeaways from that Alabama-Texas game?
Alabama looks beatable this year. I mean, Texas did it with a backup quarterback for half the game, didn't they?
Yeah,
or,
that's right.
I think a quarter and a half or
something.
something.
Might have been their third string guy. I think they had two guys out.
So maybe even more than that. Yeah, the defense. I don't know, man. I still want. We're early. It's 2 games. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, if Alabama's going to play like that, they are not going to be in the national championship this year.
No, Georgia's going to throttle them guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's going to happen is Alabama's probably going to play Georgia in the SEC championship, and then if Georgia beats them, I don't see a way that Alabama makes. I mean, maybe they make the playoff, maybe they come in at 4 or something like that. But they can't afford to play like that for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama has UL Monroe, who they'll roll. Vandy, they'll probably roll, but then it's 3 ranked games in a row: Arkansas, Texas A&M, Tennessee.
Texas A&M might lose their 3rd game of the year right there. So what, Jimbo will be like 3-3?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So who is it? Arkansas, Texas A&M, and
Arkansas, Texas A&M, Tennessee.
Tennessee. I'm not hot on Tennessee.
Not? No, you're a no.
Nah, I don't like Tennessee.
Not a Tennessee guy yet.
No, they gotta show up.
So we'll see. I'm impressed with Georgia so far this year, but
man, they're good.
Ohio,
and they're number 1 now.
Yeah. Ohio State, I think, is always a force. So, yeah, we'll see. So, a little UF talk?
Yeah, they didn't do much.
No.
They looked horrible.
Yeah.
And I must apologize to Kentucky because in last week's pick'ems, I'm like, you are absolutely insane if you're picking Kentucky to beat Florida, especially after Florida just.
And I picked Kentucky to beat Florida.
You did, yeah. So I apologize to you as well. But yeah, Florida beats Utah coming out of the gate. Top 10 team, roll them. Then they come into Kentucky and they just look flat.
Yeah, I thought they got ranked too high too quick. What'd they go up to 12 or something after a win? It's just
when you're unranked. Yeah.
And the Richardson kid came back to earth. And I told you to watch out for Levis in that game.
Yeah, you
and
did.
Then they won. So that looked good. What do you think about Florida moving forward?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it seems like that team lives and dies on Richardson's back.
Yeah.
And so if he plays like he did against Utah, they're going to do great.
Yep.
And if he plays like he did against Kentucky, it's, hey, we suck.
Yeah.
So, I
they play Texas A&M too coming up. So.
Oh my God! What if Texas A&M loses 4 games? Oh my gosh! So here's my take. I made a hot take last week where I said Florida will finish the season ranked above Miami. I don't think it's safe to bail on that yet. But
right. We're early.
That might have been a bad. That might have been a bad take. That might be an ice cold take.
I think it was a bad take only because Florida plays in the SEC. It's gonna be hard if they struggle at all. Richardson completely came back down to earth, and what's that going to do for his confidence?
Yeah, but they also get some strength of schedule appreciation from the pollsters. I think
they do.
I mean, there is an SEC bias, and probably for a good reason. But you lose 2 games, 3 games in the SEC, you could still be ranked. You lose 1 or 2 in the ACC, and you're out.
Yeah, we'll do it in the pick'ems, but they play South Florida this week and then have Tennessee. So it's going to be a nice game stretch. Anything else you wanted to?
No, Florida State was off. Again, they play tomorrow night against Louisville, which was news to me. I've got to change my Friday night plans, but that's really it. Did I have anything for Gridiron Gab? Pick 'em results.
Yeah, we'll do pick 'em. Next week, I plan on having a list of sort of some Heisman candidates to watch out for, and we'll
Will Van Dyke be on there?
We're gonna see this weekend. It's gonna all depend. This is a national game. I mean, 9 o'clock, kind of a standalone game. We're gonna see what they can do. But
competing with the Pac-10 games.
Yep. So pick 'em. Last week I was 5-3. You were 4-4.
So now we're even on the season.
We're even 12-7.
All right.
Mr. No College Football is right up there with me. So
well, I mean, listen, a lot of these games you pretty much just pick the chalk and you run with it. You know, and I probably told the story before. My dad was a bookie, so it was like I kind of, you know, I'm going to be able to figure this out.
Yeah. I think you'll be all right. You want to pick the games this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Pick'ems. Well, this is probably my favorite part.
Yeah, I love it too. So we got Georgia at South Carolina. Georgia's a 24.5-point favorite.
All right. Georgia's winning this game.
Yep.
I don't think
so.
they're covering, though.
No?
I mean, they're going to win. They're going to win. Don't get me wrong. We become straight up. But 24.5 against South Carolina is kind of a lot of points.
It's a lot.
But anyway, yep.
So we got Georgia. Oklahoma, Nebraska. Oklahoma's favored by 11.
Bro, Scott Frost.
And we didn't cover that, and I meant to.
But oh my gosh, where do I have it in here? Okay. Scott Frost. We talked about Jimbo Fisher's record in his first 50 games.
Yep.
Frost didn't make it 50. He made 47.
Yeah.
He went 16-31.
Crazy.
For a guy that was just the king in Orlando at UCF.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What happened there?
I don't know, but did you see they let him go and his buyout's like $15 million more right now when they let him go than it would be on October 1st.
So they could have just held him.
They could have waited until October 1st. Like, you're already owing whatever for the season. Like,
they're not coming back. I did not know that. That's wild.
Yeah, it was like I don't know how much, but it's like 8 or 10 million more to wait 2 more weeks, and they said, nah, he's out of here.
It's worth the $10 million to just pack your bags and go.
So Nebraska 1-2 versus Oklahoma.
Yeah. Oklahoma's going to beat them by 400 points. I mean, it's going to be wild.
Maybe one of the games of the week. BYU at Oregon. 3.5 spread for Oregon.
All right, so I kind of shit on BYU a little bit earlier.
You did.
I'm not high on BYU. I'm not super high on Oregon either, though.
Yeah, I'm not at all. So they're in Oregon, which is
I know that. And it makes a difference.
Oregon's
guess. What's
favored.
The line?
Oregon's favored. 3.5.
Man, really? Oregon's favored?
Yeah, 3.5 at home. It's almost that at home.
Is BYU going to be that team where, like, I kind of shit on them a little bit, and then they win, and then I pick them, and then they lose? Is that what it's going to be?
It's probably going to be that. It seems like that's your... Yeah. That's going to be your team for that this year.
All right. Well, congratulations, Oregon. I'm picking BYU, and you're probably just going to win now.
I think I'm going to go with the favorite and just go with Oregon. I don't trust either team.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen enough of who they played.
What was the game last week where I was like, yeah, this is Vegas trapping us, and they trapped us?
Was it
It was
it wasn't Kentucky.
No, it
Florida,
was.
Was
Do
it?
you have it in your notes? Because I remember
Maybe.
thinking, like,
I don't think
how
I wrote
in the
it.
world is so and so favored? This makes no sense. Mike is literally flipping through his whole notes. Why are there 17 blank pages between episodes, Mike? All right, if you go back to
I can't find it.
If
but
you go back to our podcast episode 2, I have to go back and check it out. But I say something to the effect of, this is a trap game, and it was. It was a trap game because I remember losing.
Yeah, it was. No, this was week 1.
Oh,
what did I do here with these papers?
I don't know, man. You are.
I'm all over the place.
You are not a gold medal note taker. I'll tell you that.
No, man. I'm gonna have to start having Vicky take my notes for the pod.
Sheesh.
Listen, give me some time and I can get to. We don't have enough time in the pod today.
No, we don't. That's all right.
That's all right. But you said it. I remember it.
This is an excuse for you guys to go back to episode 2 and listen to that. And I'm like 99% sure that we both got the game wrong.
Yeah, we did. I don't remember which game it was, but I have it in my notes somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in that pile.
Luckily, I took notes. Ole Miss at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
16.5 favorite Ole Miss.
Yeah, I think they win and cover. Yeah. I think they're like okay. Again, it's.
I like
SEC,
a Lane Kiffin coach team. I think he's a good coach. I like them to probably roll. Maybe I think 3 touchdowns or more could be that one. So
yeah, I think Penn State does, or I'm sorry, Ole Miss does fine in that game.
Yeah. Number 22, Penn State versus Auburn. Penn State's favored by 3 at Auburn.
Okay, and Auburn's
2-0. And I don't think that they have. Let me just.
Is there a line on that game?
It's 4.
Penn State favored by 4.
So they've only beat Mercer and San Jose State. So it's hard to
those
get.
are 2. Yeah,
it's hard to get.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
Penn State by 3. Penn State's favored by 3 at Auburn.
I'll take Penn State.
Yeah, I think so too.
Again, normally I take the SEC team in these.
Yeah.
But the fact that Auburn has literally played nobody. For 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go with Penn State.
Now, you took Texas Tech to win last week, right? And I think they did. No. Is that who BYU played? Who did? Let me look at this real quick.
Mike's gonna figure this out.
I'm gonna figure this out. So this week is Texas Tech versus number 16 North Carolina State.
Okay.
So while you're thinking about your pick on that, it's North Carolina State's favored by 10. Oh, it was Houston. And you took Texas Tech last week.
Yeah,
I took Houston.
that's right.
And Texas Tech beat them.
Yep.
And,
In overtime,
and Houston
right?
was ranked. Yep.
Yeah.
2 overtimes.
All right.
So this week, Texas Tech at NC State.
Well, I'm picking NC State.
Yeah, I think they're way better.
Yeah. I don't know if they're way better. What you got a spread there?
Yeah, I think it's 10.
NC State by 10.
I think
they win. They don't cover.
I think they win and cover. I think
Okay.
they win by 2 touchdowns or more.
Gotcha.
So,
All
but
right.
we'll see. USF at University of Florida.
Oh, I think Florida curb stomps USF.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
they're
this is a revenge game.
Favored by 24.
It's not really a rivalry, but I mean it's 2 in-state teams.
Yeah,
I think Florida's going to go nuts.
I'm the same with you on that. I think Anthony Richardson has a big game. Starts to kind of try to climb his way back out of the hole he just dug.
Yeah, he's got to.
The crew's walking in.
Oh yeah.
I got distracted.
Oh, yep. All right. What's
All
the
right,
next
so
one?
let's go FSU at Louisville.
Not good, Mike. This ain't gonna be good. So I'm picking Louisville.
I'm picking Louisville as well.
And you'll see a common theme if you listen to this podcast every week. I'm probably not going to pick FSU this year.
I don't know if I had my mic on for a solid minute there.
Well, I could hear you. So
Okay,
you
good.
must have. Yep. FSU again. We watch them play LSU, and then they played Duquesne the week before, which is trash. But
Duquesne. I didn't even know how to pronounce the name. You had to
Duquesne.
tell me.
Yeah.
Duquesne?
Yeah, so they beat LSU. They
Yep.
beat LSU on a fluke. Listen, I mean, Florida State could win this game. Again, I don't know what the line is. They might even be favored by a couple points.
I don't think LSU. I don't think LSU is very good. So it's hard to tell what Florida State is from that win.
Yeah.
Let me find this real quick because I'm eager to know that line as well.
Yeah. Again, I would guess the guys in Vegas would have Florida State by a couple.
2.5.
2.5. Well, there you go.
At Louisville. So that's a little more than 2.5. You know what I mean? If you're playing at Louisville and you're getting.
Yeah, I think Louisville's on a high after beating UCF, and I'm just not high on Florida State yet. They got to prove a little bit more to me.
Yeah, this is a show me game. Louisville's a solid team. They're not bad. They're not great. So show me what you got. This is a good start to the year. We're both on Louisville.
Yep.
Until further notice, Florida State. We want to see what you have.
Yep.
So here's one. Let me look this up. Let me look up the spread because I didn't write it down. UCF at FAU.
Oh my God. I think there'll be better competition in the St. Ed Sebastian game.
Come on.
I'm not high on either team. UCF's an 8-point favorite. I'm gonna take UCF, but
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of either. This kid Plumlee, I guess, is supposed to be all right, but
Yeah, so FAU has
Willie Taggart.
but they also have transfer quarterback from Miami,
Oh, okay.
Kosi Perry.
All right.
679 yards passing in 3 games, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Dude, if
It's-
UCF loses that game,
Yeah.
is Malzahn gone? Is he Gus
Probably.
Malgone?
Probably not.
I just made that up. We got to copyright that. Gus Malgone.
Probably not.
If FAU beats UCF and the headline on the sport page of the Orlando Sentinel is Gus Malgone, if that's the headline, Orlando Sentinel, Florida Today, whatever, you owe me $1 million.
I'm sure they'll pay that too.
I just trademarked that. Gus Malgone.
I hate to do it. I'm gonna
I
take
kind of want
UCF.
UCF to lose now
I want. So listen.
to see if that happens.
I really think that in Kosi Perry, and we're going to revisit this next week. I'm going to star this game. I think he could be a difference. He's a legit quarterback.
I'm going to have
just
to watch this game.
Wasn't going to play because of Tyler Van Dyke. Tyler.
I don't know.
I got you. It's
Yeah.
Tyler.
Tyler.
But I like him a lot. I think they have some weapons, and I like I like Willie Taggart and that
I don't.
that program.
I don't.
That program. Not at Florida State. He wasn't a Florida State guy. All right, last game.
All right, so hold on. For the record, we both have UCF. But
yep.
I'm rooting for FAU.
I'm rooting for FAU, and I'm rooting for Kosi Perry too.
Let's
I
do
like
it.
him a lot, and I think that FAU could win that game.
Go Owls.
UCF is definitely not going to cover. I don't think.
What's the line?
Minus 10.
10. Yeah.
I think it's closer than that. Touchdown
I might have to go to the game, Mike. You're making me want to go to this game now.
at Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's
Boca,
not far.
right?
Yeah, that's not far.
Take Vicky Gritty with us. Former punter there.
Last game. Number 13 Miami at number 24 Texas A&M.
Game of the week.
5.5. Texas A&M's favored. I'm just going to mark you down for your
Don't mark me down
SEC
in Miami.
pick.
Yeah, don't mark me down in Miami.
For your SEC pick.
You're marking down things. All right.
I got me for Miami,
Here's
obviously.
my take. If you had asked me last Thursday,
Yeah.
I'd pick Miami.
Yeah.
Today, again, I think Jimbo thinks his job's on the line.
Yeah.
And if not his job, his reputation for sure.
Yeah.
He is going to prepare for this game more than he prepared for the national championship when he was at Florida State. I'm telling you right now, Texas A&M wins this game. Now, I've been wrong a billion times before.
Yeah.
But that's my take on it. I think Miami's a better team.
Yeah.
But I just think that
motivated.
this game this week, Jimbo's got to win.
Got to.
He's got to win.
Got to.
So yeah, there's our pick'ems for this week. Anything else you want to talk about?
And to be clear, I took Miami. So.
Okay. All right, yeah, because
You can just
you got it on
assume-
paper, so we could take a picture and tweet it.
I had the last one on paper too, and I can't find
somewhere.
it.
Yeah, at 772 Sports on Twitter. If you ever want to check our picks, I've been posting them on there. I've been tweeting them. So
I love it.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. What do we have next? A little around the horn. You want to talk Major League Baseball?
You know I love talking Major League Baseball, and I got some rants.
Mike's got some complaints, and you're gonna hear about it.
Let's go.
Well, Major League Baseball. Here we go. 772 Sports is brought to you by Vero Beach Social Media, your local digital marketing agency. From Facebook advertising to graphic design to podcast production, Vero Beach Social Media has you covered. Contact them today at 772-999-6636 or visit VeroBeachSocialMedia.com. Around the Horn. All right, welcome to our Around the Horn segment where we bring you all the Major League Baseball news from the previous week. We are both Dodger fans, so do you want to start with the big news this week, Mike?
Yeah, Dodgers clinched. They clinched a playoff berth 2 days ago, right? 3 days ago.
Well,
and
there
then
was some question
the division,
about that. It was they clinched and then
some kind of crazy three-way tie scenario.
Yeah, somebody figured out that if it snows in July or something, then they actually didn't clinch. But yeah, the Dodgers have officially won the division nine times out of the last 10 years. And 10-year run.
Yeah.
On plus, and we were talking. I never got the answer to this, but a buddy of mine asked, "What was the Braves' consecutive playoff streak? They had like a 14-year streak or something.
It was more than.
So yeah, the Dodgers are going to be. There's going to be conversation in a couple of years.
Right?
Well, the Braves
playoffs
won
or
the division like 14 years in a row, and the
Yeah.
Dodgers didn't win it last year.
Right,
So,
but they still have a playoff streak.
but there's a playoff streak conversation to be had again in a couple of years. But yeah, Dodgers clinch. They're the first team in the major leagues to clinch. They are 98-44 with a 690 winning percentage. They did not win their 99th game last night. Mike's upset about it.
Craig Kimbrell, man, what are we gonna do with the guy?
He's the only hole. You could argue that Bellinger and Gallo and Chris Taylor are automatic outs.
There's enough. We have enough offense though to where we can hide those guys. What do you
cannot
do
hide the closer
with a back end bullpen piece?
Bro, I don't know. I mean, they've got guys back now.
But it hurt us when I think Blake Trinan was lined up for that job, and now he's back on the IL, so that hurts a little. But I think Evan Phillips is the perfect guy for the job, and Roberts just won't do it, and I don't get it. So maybe you can.
Well, all right. So Roberts historically has had a guy.
Yes.
Right, and it was Jansen forever.
Yep.
And Jansen would struggle, and Roberts would say, this is my guy, this is my guy, this is my guy. So I think it's just Roberts. I think he's just, he's
loyal to his guys, I guess.
He doesn't like change.
You can't have a closer that has an ERA of 4.03. Right? That's terrible.
So bad.
It's just
It's so bad.
It's I can't even talk about it.
So last night in the game, the Dodgers are up 10-3 in the 10th inning, and Kimbrell, I think he walked a guy and then gave up a 3-run home run.
Yep.
Walked a guy. The guy starts on second, which is the dumbest rule in Major League Baseball history. But guy starts on second. I think it was a walk, and then a bomb, and that was it. And a blown save, another blown save for Kimbrell.
I'm trying to. I don't trust him in the playoffs, and I hope we do some kind of by committee thing because...
Well, Evan Phillips, like you said, he's the perfect closer. He's having a hell of a year. They were trying to make this thing about Kimbrell when he started playing Let It Go as his walk-up for the bullpen to the mound. It was all his ills were fixed, and it's like, no, he just still sucks.
He has an ERA over 4, so we got to do something about that. That's the only real concern I have. I mean, we're going to need eventually... I love I actually hated the trade, but I love what Joey Gallo's given us.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
he still strikes out a million times, but
and I got a problem with that.
yeah,
I got a
he's
problem
a
with
strikeout guy.
Yeah.
So
You got complaints, I got complaints.
yeah,
Joey Gallo shouldn't be in a lineup.
yeah,
I mean, he's a pinch hitter. If you need a home run, if it's bottom of the ninth and you got two guys on and you have two outs
Yeah.
and you need a home run, all right, give Gallo a shot against
Right.
the righty. But otherwise, I don't want to see him.
yeah.
I just don't like the guy.
Do you have? Is there an argument there for Trace Thompson really needing to be in the lineup every day? Like,
I mean, I like Trace Thompson.
Yeah,
I
he's-
want him to be in the lineup every
yeah.
day. Yeah, there's a phenomenal argument
Yeah.
for Trace Thompson, who is having a hell of a season for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Like, why are you benching him for a guy that's going to go 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts? every
right,
night?
and I think looking at it like right now, and just maybe Roberts is trying to work them out of a funk while they got a 1,000,000-game lead.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
the
they're
division.
20 and a half up against the Padres.
So-
I mean, well, I don't even know why it matters. I mean, they clinched the division. It's over. They have a 9-game lead or 10-game lead on the Mets for
best record in national.
So I mean, shoot, their magic number to clinch home field is like 9.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, I get it. Roberts can do what he wants right now, but at what point do you get out of a funk? We talked about this in the last podcast.
Right.
What happens when all of a sudden you're out of your rhythm and then the
Right.
playoffs come and you got to get back in a rhythm real
Right.
quick?
Well, I think with a week left, we need to be starting to see that playoff lineup play every day because you got wild card. We have a bye, right?
Yeah.
Playoffs is different this year. There's a bye. It's 3 games, right?
Yeah.
So there's going to be time off there. We're going to need our guys to be in a rhythm by the time that comes.
Well, the thing that I do like about clinching the division so early is that you can line up your rotation how you want.
Right.
You can get guys a little rest right now
Yep.
and then work them back in at the
Yeah.
end of the season.
I think Gonsolin's not really hurt at all. They're just giving him some rest.
Dude, they put him on the IL on the day that I saw him playing catch in
Yeah.
person with Dustin May.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute, how bad is his arm if he's
Yeah.
literally playing catch?
I think it's just,
Afraid of overuse.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that. And I don't think he's hurt. I think it's a way to get some young guys up to get some work, save his arm. He's already pitched and I don't have the stat in front of me, but he's way more innings.
Yeah, well, Howard
pitched this
Cole,
year.
you know Howard Cole.
Yep.
He's adamant that Gonsolin's really hurt, and he's cussed me out about it. And
Yeah,
I'm like, Howard, man, I don't think he's hurt.
That guy can flip a switch quick and start cussing people out.
I know,
He's
man.
funny.
It's funny. I love him. I love
So
watching him.
here you go.
Right.
Who's the only other team in Major League Baseball with more than 90 wins?
I don't know, the Yankees,
Nope.
the Mets,
Nope.
The
That's not a National
Cardinals.
League team.
Nope.
Nope.
The Astros. Duh.
Yes,
Yeah.
Astros.
Okay. It's funny. I have the stats in front of me. I didn't want to look.
I know. I didn't. That's
It's
why
the
I'm
Astros,
throwing
yeah.
the trivia at you.
Yeah. Well, and again, the Astros. I mean, they're going to win that division. The Cardinals are running away with the
Yeah.
Central. We've got a race with the Mets and Braves. They've teeter-tottered back and forth.
Yeah, that's probably the most intriguing.
The Mets have a
matchup right
half
now.
a game lead, but they just got swept
Swept
by
by
the
the
Cubs.
Cubs.
Bro.
Unbelievable.
How's that happen?
Unbelievable.
How are you in a pennant race and you get swept by? Well, I have it in front of me. The Cubs are 61 and 82.
Yeah.
Well, they were 58 and 82.
Yeah.
when they started that.
I just I got a buddy Dom from up north. He's texting me during the game. He's just kind of like beside him. He's like, what do we do? Like, we're getting swept by the Cubs. So they lose. They win. Was it 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 against the Dodgers?
2 out of 3, I think.
And then they lose the series against the Nationals. They get swept by the Cubs. It's like, who are these
Jerry
guys?
Seinfeld said it was the old Timmy Trumpet. He said you come
I've
out.
seen that.
You come out and you're celebrating in the middle of the season. You haven't won anything. You haven't won the division. You haven't made the playoffs, and you're throwing a parade. Like, what's going on here?
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's going to be an interesting series to down the stretch. You like New York to hold them off, or?
Yeah, I'm sticking. I think from the get go, I've said the Mets are going to win this thing, win that division.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, you've got. I don't know, 12 and 7, 19 games left for both teams. 18 games for the Mets, 19 for the Braves.
Yeah.
You're getting to the nitty gritty here.
Yeah. I think
the
they
Mets are
have a
gonna hold
series
on, but-
left against each other too, don't they?
Boy,
They
wouldn't
have
that be
to.
something if they played each other at the end?
They have to.
I don't know. That would be amazing. But shit, Mike. Now you're gonna make me look this up. All right, let's see. Who do they play at the very end? So the Braves finish their season off with the Marlins, but before that, they have a 3-game set with the Mets.
So that's going to be big. If they can keep this thing at a half game, 1 game, somewhere in there, that series is going to be amazing.
All right, and then the Mets, of course, their second to last series is going to be against the Braves, but they finished their season against Washington. So
Same.
both teams kind of have 3 giveaways at the end of the
Right.
season, but it's going to be the 3 games before that that matter. Now, the Mets play the Marlins 2 games before the Braves.
Right.
So, you got 5 wins out of 8 that you should have. I
Yeah.
mean, you should sweep the
Yeah.
Marlins and the Nationals.
You should. If you run into
That kid's
Alcantara,
good, man.
you may
good.
catch a loss there. So is that the only division that we're not calling locked?
Let's see.
Cleveland, Chicago, Minnesota are kind of.
Yeah, I mean Cleveland and the White Sox and Minnesota. Yeah, Cleveland has a 4-game lead.
It's 4 games is kind of a big lead, right? With only 18 or 19 games left.
I mean Cleveland's won 6 in a row.
Yeah.
I mean we were kind of shitting on them last week, and then they come out and they're like, you know what, we're just gonna sweep everybody now.
Yeah.
Because 772 Sports says we suck. Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm gonna say that every other division should be locked up. Dodgers clinched. St. Louis going to win that division.
Yep.
The Yankees going to win the East. Houston definitely is going to win the West. Cleveland's going to be close, but yeah, that NL East is going to be interesting.
Yeah. And so takes us to wild card, right?
Yep.
I think we can just skim over the American League. I think that wild card is done, right?
Baltimore's 4 games back again, like you said. 4 games.
4 and 6
lead.
in their last 10, though. They're starting to go the wrong way.
Yeah, Toronto, Seattle, and Tampa Bay.
So I think when we were here last time, this was completely swapped. I think it was Tampa Bay, Toronto, Seattle. Now it's Toronto, Seattle, Tampa Bay. Like last week when we met, these standings were totally different.
Those 3 teams are within a game and a half, and they've swapped 2 games in the last 10. So, listen, as long as they're playing 500 or better ball, all 3 teams, they're going to be fine. And Baltimore, they've won 2 in a row. They've gotten within 4, but they're just not there.
Next year or two, they're going to be somebody to watch out for. A good young team.
Now, listen, they go on a run this week and things change. But I think the American League wild card is set up, and then in the National League, I mean, it's a 4-way race for 3 spots.
Yeah,
Milwaukee's 2 games behind San Diego.
I think it's a 3-way race for 2 spots, right? Because Atlanta's
going to get
whoever
there.
Atlanta or New York is running away with that wild card. So.
Right.
Philly, San Diego, Milwaukee.
Yeah. And Philly's basically got a 4.5 game lead on San Diego or on Milwaukee. San Diego has a 2-game lead. So, yeah.
Every time it seems like San Diego loses, Milwaukee loses. Yeah. Milwaukee had Corbin Burns going yesterday, lost.
Guy's probably going to win us. Well, he won the Cy Young last year.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like they're just, I don't know if you call it bad luck or just the way they're playing, but it just
they both lost last night.
Yeah. So every time one loses, the other loses. It was 2. It was 2 last time we were here. That it was the same. So
yeah, those are the playoffs. What else do we have for? All right, we spent a lot of time on playoffs, Dodgers, this and that. What is going on with Aaron Judge, and what kind of alien DNA does he have? He's got 57 home runs right now.
Yeah. So I read a stat about him yesterday. Let me see if I think I saved it on my phone, but.
Oh, where he's first in literally every offensive
home
category?
Runs, RBI runs, WAR, on-base percentage, slugging, OPS plus, total bases, extra base hits.
But he's not going to win the Triple Crown.
Right.
He doesn't have the average.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, he is out of this world. I still make the argument that Ohtani's better.
Yeah.
But
are you completely switching up your stance, though, that is not necessarily because I think you said Judge was going to win it anyway, even though Ohtani deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Judge wins the MVP, but I wouldn't vote for him. Still.
And Judge, and we're going to be clear, though, that I think Judge does deserve it. But it's so hard to argue with what Ohtani does. Like, I keep going back to that.
Yeah. Listen, I will continue to say this until I'm proven wrong, but Ohtani is the greatest baseball player we've ever seen.
Yeah, live, yeah.
But that being said, Aaron Judge has a 20 home run lead on the next guy.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't even know who it is. Is it...
MLB-wise, it's Schwarber.
Yeah. Oh, Phillies. I almost said Justin Bohr. Well, I don't know why that name came
Justin
to mind.
Bohr?
Has he played in the last 3 years? Anyway, so Schwarber has 37, Riley 36. And that's the other thing is like, so Judge has 57.
Yep.
The difference between the number 2 and the number 7 guy is 4 home runs. Yeah, 3 home runs. But Ohtani is there.
Yeah.
He's in that mix.
You know where else he is? He's also in there in strikeouts and
ERA.
That's amazing to me. 123 RBIs for Judge.
So Aaron Judge, let's see, how many games do the Yankees have left? It's got to be in that 18-19 range, right?
Yeah, we're assuming it's
all right. So
he's got to
20. He's got to hit 4 or to tie the American League record. He's got to hit 5. 61's what Maris had.
61.
That's the American League record. And my argument is it's the record. I mean, Bonds at 73 is trash. McGuire 70 is trash. Sosa at 66, I think, trash. Throw all those in a garbage can. 61 is the major league record, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Aaron Judge is most likely going to break that.
Yeah, I mean, I would be more surprised right now if he does not break it.
Yeah.
The only thing they can be is if they're playing a bunch of possible playoff teams and they're not going to pitch to him down the stretch, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah. They have 19 games left.
Yeah, so He needs, 5 home runs in 19 games?
Yeah,
I mean,
and he hit 2 the other night.
yeah, so he's on pace. So what do you think? Yes?
Oh, yeah. I think he breaks 60.
I'd be more surprised if he didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's actually one of our factor caps, so I guess you answered that one. But anyway, all right, what else do we have?
Wait, I got one. So
okay.
I need you to walk. I want to see if you want to walk this back a little bit.
All right.
Albert Pujols is at 697. Does he get to 700?
I still say no. Until he hits 700, I'm going to say no. And I said he's going to live at 698.
Yeah.
Which is only one more.
Yeah. So he better go in a little slump here.
Well, yeah, I'm sticking with 698.
All right, you're not walking it back. I like it.
No, not yet.
What else do we want to talk about?
Okay, so we talked about the Cardinals a little bit.
Yep.
They're running away with that division.
Yep.
Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina pitched and caught as a battery.
Yeah.
Their 325th game.
Awesome.
It's a major league record. It's really cool. I mean, I like both guys.
I seen the stat. I didn't look it up. Who did they go by?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't see who it was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just a really cool stat. I mean, for a catcher to catch one pitcher for 325
yeah,
games.
the longevity of that is.
The question is we all agree that Molina is going to make the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes.
Like, there's no argument there.
Yep.
I don't think. Is Adam Wainwright a Hall of Famer?
That's a good question.
I started thinking about that this morning, and I was like, oh my God, I got to ask Mike this. So I'll give you some numbers. He's got 195 wins, 114 losses.
Okay.
So almost 200. 200's, nowadays 200's kind of your threshold. A 3.35 career ERA. He's got 2,141 strikeouts and 2,553 innings pitched. So not a huge, you kind of look at one per inning, but he's only, and I don't have the number, but he's only walked like 680 guys.
Right.
So you look at the ratio and you're like, all right, I can live with the
Right.
fewer strikeouts. His career whip is 1.212, which is a little high.
Yeah.
Not what I would think of, but he's a 3-time All-Star, and he got second in Cy Young voting twice and third in Cy Young voting twice. Has never won a Cy Young award, but keep in mind, Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young award in his 50 seasons of pitching.
Which is
so
unbelievable.
Adam Wainwright, in my opinion, borderline Hall of Famer, which I didn't think that until this. I mean, this morning was the very first time in my entire life I thought Adam Wainwright might be a Hall of Famer.
So you didn't think that as far as he's not in, right?
No, I borderline. Like,
right.
I don't know if he is or isn't. I guess it's a question for you. What do you think?
But up until now, what did you think? Was no?
It never crossed my mind.
He seemed to be, I don't want to say super consistent, but it's like just, what you're going to get from him. It's not super extraordinary, right? But it's never going to be terrible.
I mean, he's won 2? He's won at least 1 World Series. I don't know if I'd have to go back and look and see if he's won 2. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think he might. Like, obviously, he's not a first ballot guy,
right?
But
I do think he'll sneak in there later,
Yeah.
just off of the longevity, how long he's played.
So we're watching Hall of Famer. 2 Hall of Famers
think
pitch
so.
and catch to each other.
I think so.
325
Are you leaning
times.
yes that he gets there?
I think eventually he gets in. But again, I don't know.
I heard talk of him playing again next year. I don't know. So
well, he's going to try and get to 200 wins.
Yeah.
He's got to.
Yeah.
I mean, 195. You can't stop there.
right. So
and he's not going to get 5 more starts. I
Right.
mean, they only play like 20 more games. So
Right.
he'll get 4 maybe.
right.
And then you got to win all 4 to get to 199.
But playoff wins.
Well,
count if they get there, right?
well,
Playoff wins will
no,
count.
this is regular season.
Oh, that's all
Yeah,
regular
yeah.
season, so that doesn't count towards.
Nope. So anyway,
Boy, I need to see this question on your yay or nay on your Hall of Fame.
Oh,
yay or nay.
HOF, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have a little TikTok, HOF, yay or nay. I'll bring it up to the boys.
I need to see it.
All right, HOF, yay or nay. Adam Wainwright, let us know. Tweet us, comment, do whatever you got to do. But yeah,
I'm
that was
saying
my
yes.
question. All right.
I'm saying yes. One more. I wanted to talk about Trout hitting 7 games in a row with a home run. That's
And the Angels losing like 5 of them.
how much of a waste is Mike Trout and
Yeah, we've kind of discussed
Anaheim.
this before, man. They're going to sell the team. I'll be curious to see who the new owners are and what they do with the team. But yeah, with Artie Moreno owning the Angels, they are in a perpetual mediocrity zone.
I seen something on MLB.com with somebody arguing that they should trade him. Could you imagine the trade package you could get back for that guy?
Every prospect,
and your next 10 number 1 picks,
and your firstborn.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know what it would take to get him, but at this point, I mean, like, every day his trade value is dwindling.
Yeah,
because he's getting older. And he does have a big contract that comes with it. I mean, he's making $35 million a year.
And doctors have come out and said, Mike Trout has come out and said he has a back issue that's gonna be an issue for his whole career. Like there's something.
So here's the deal. It's just like, you know this pretty well as a realtor. You know, what do I think my house is worth, and what does the buyer think my house is worth?
Right.
You know, the Angels think that Mike Trout's worth, you know, 2 or 3 times what the buyer thinks he's worth.
Right.
And so it's going to be weird to see that negotiation. But like I said, with the sale of the team pending, I don't see him moving.
Yeah,
that's just my take.
He's a big feature to.
Well, and
I do think Shohei's out of there though.
Well,
as soon as he hits free agency, he's out of there.
Yeah, I mean, he's not locked up, so,
yeah,
so
they
there's
got
nothing
one more
the
year
team
with
can
him.
really do. But how can Artie Moreno sell that team for $3 billion without Trout? Or you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the sale price is going to be. My guess is he's going to be in a $2.5 billion range. Okay.
Yeah.
But with Trout, that team is way more valuable than without it. So he's not going to get rid of him.
You know, it's in his best interest too. I think he sees the writing on the wall with Ohtani too. Like selling them now with Ohtani, with that market you get having Ohtani on your team, makes it so much more valuable.
So I think, I mean, just like selling a house, you leave things as they are or make them better. You don't make them worse before you sell. So again, until that sale is done and completed, I think those guys are there.
Yep,
but
I agree.
All right, is that it for Around the Horn?
Good to go, man. Next week we should have a clearer picture on hopefully that National League wild card spot. But that's it.
All right, little NFL coming up. Here we go. 772 Sports is brought to you by the Higgins Home Group. Let the tag team of Mike and Vicky Higgins help you either find your dream home or sell your current home for top dollar. The Higgins Home Group is one of Dale Sorensen Real Estate's premier real estate teams. Give them a call at 772-532-8148. Next up, Chalk Talk. All right, here comes our Chalk Talk segment where we talk NFL. We are heading into week 2 of the NFL season. Week 1 was pretty exciting, Mike. What'd you think?
I liked it. Dolphins look good.
Dolphins looked really good.
Yeah.
Now, again, Patriots are bad, but the Dolphins look
well,
really good.
you know, maybe they're bad. We'll see. One game, hard to tell anything.
Yeah.
I need to see more from Dolphins offense, but their defense looked good.
Yeah.
So where are you at? Colts
All right,
tied
Colts.
it up.
All right, so
If you don't, you know, I'm a huge Dolphin fan. Curtis is a huge Colts guy. We're probably going to open up every pod with talking about our teams.
Yeah, for sure. So if you guys follow our Twitter, you see that I watch every game, literally every game. We have 4 TVs in a living room. We have all the games on, quad screens on 2 of them, and the Colts are always on one of the main screens. They're not a quad screen, and I get the sound. So I watched the entire Colts game. Their offense looked really bad in the first quarter. And they even said in the broadcast, "Oh, well, they're going to introduce Hines, and they're gonna pass the ball more to give Taylor a rest." Taylor led the league in carries this week, so I don't know what the hell Frank Reich was doing or what their thought process was. But Jonathan Taylor carried the load for this team. They were down 20-3 in the fourth quarter against a very, 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 very bad Houston team.
Yeah.
Now, Matt Ryan stepped up.
Yeah.
And they finally started opening up the passing game a little bit.
We figured he would.
I am walking back my Alec Pierce.
I text you after he dropped that.
Oh, my God. He dropped 2 passes. One was in the end zone. Pittman is literally the only guy they have. He is the guy.
Yeah.
If you drafted him, congrats. If you drafted any other Colts receiver, I really apologize.
I almost took Pierce late in my draft because of you. I'm glad I did not.
Yep. And then Strawn actually got some catches. I don't know why they don't use him more. He's like 6'7", 220, and just towers over guys.
Yeah.
And he had a decent game. On the defensive side, they're Swiss cheese. They cannot stop the run. I am very worried about what Robinson and Etienne do this week in against Jacksonville. And they went out and they literally traded or signed like 5 DBs, and they're worse than they were last year. So the Colts tied. Which is like kissing your sister, is old, I think it was Ernie Banks or somebody said that. But, you don't want to tie against a very bad team. But we'll go to the positives. They're in first place in the AFC South.
Because nobody in that division won a game, right?
And 2 teams played each other. And nobody in the division
They were talking about that stat. It cracked me up, man.
The Titans did not look good, which is good.
Yes.
Jacksonville did not look good, which is good. And,
Houston
that's my take. Houston
looked
they're bad, dude.
Yeah.
Davis Mills is not.
So we're still, after week 1, our sort of takeaway is you still feel like Buffalo is heads and shoulders above.
So in our picks last week, I have Buffalo winning the Super Bowl and Josh Allen winning MVP, and it looked like I was Nostradamus. I mean, they look like the best team in the NFL. Josh Allen looked like the best player in the league.
Completely dismantled the Rams.
I mean, if if I was in a coma for like 2 years, and we came to week 1 this week, and you said, "Oh yeah, the Rams won the Super Bowl last week," I'd call you a liar. Or last year, I'd call you a liar. The Rams did not look like they won the Super Bowl. Now I don't know if that's a hangover. I don't know if you have a 3 or 7 month hangover from winning the Super Bowl.
Right.
But they were at home. I mean, this is the home opener. This is the NFL opener. Buffalo just killed them.
Yeah, I don't. Stafford, man. Stafford's going to have to find a way to. Kupp is amazing, and he's one of the best receivers. Stafford's going to have to find a way to pass it to other people.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Allen Robinson, what did he have? 1 catch, I think.
Yeah.
One
I don't
catch
know,
for
man.
12 yards.
Like
Cooper Kupp can't just be the one guy you pass to every single time.
Frank Reich, did you hear that? Michael Pittman can't be the only guy you pass to. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem in LA is Cooper Kupp is like the guy.
Right.
And that's it. And
Yeah, he won
they're gonna have to spread it
he was
around.
Triple Crown of receiving last year, right?
Oh my God, man, he had a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Tons of catches, tons of yards, touchdowns.
Anything else as far as the games last week we need to go over?
Dallas, they were supposed to be good. They're supposed to win the East. They're supposed to be
Now
the
Dak,
bomb.
yeah.
I think I had them winning the NFC East.
I think you and I had Philly.
Well, I have Philly winning the wild card. I think you had them winning the division.
Yeah.
I had Dallas winning the division.
But I had Dallas being the number 1 wild card, maybe.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
man.
it was
And
one of
Dak is
those.
out now. But 32 teams played last week. 31 scored touchdowns.
Yeah.
Dallas, the only team that didn't score a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No.
Now listen, Tampa is a really good team.
Sure.
I mean,
top 10, top 5
Yeah.
defense probably.
yeah. I mean, I have Tampa in the Super Bowl this
Yeah.
year. So like, they're not, they're not a bad team. But holy cow, man,
Yeah.
you cannot come out like that.
Yeah,
in
so
week 1.
so we both play a survivor pool where you pick a definite winner each week. So I took Baltimore last week. I appreciate you getting me in that league.
Yep.
And you took who?
I took. Oh shit! I took Tennessee.
You took Tennessee adamantly.
Oh yeah, I was so
Adamantly.
confident with that.
I'm going to go back and listen to last week's pod just to hear you talk about the Giants again.
They're still not good, but Tennessee, which is I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Being a Colts fan, but
Yeah.
they looked really bad.
Yeah. So we got that.
Let's talk a little Browns Panthers.
Yeah.
Okay. Baker Mayfield came in. Hey, I'm going to f them up. We're going
Yep.
to do this. We're going to do that. No, you didn't.
Nope.
You sucked.
Yep.
And Jacoby Brissett didn't look as bad as I thought he was going to.
No, he can handle that offense, I think.
I mean, why couldn't he do that when he was in Indy? Now, listen, his numbers weren't out of this world. He's 18
Yeah.
for 34, 147 yards, a touchdown. He managed the game. And Nick Chubb just went crazy. I mean, 22 carries, 141 yards. But
he's unbelievable.
But I mean, Brissett mitigated sacks. He got sacked 1 time.
Yeah.
And Mayfield, he didn't look very good. He didn't look very good though. He was 16
No.
for 27, a touchdown, a pick.
Yeah, he
4 sacks.
He played a lot better the second half. I am I'm a huge Baker guy, and that scared me, that performance.
But the Browns defense looks for real.
They're legit.
I mean, they shut down the Panthers offense.
They're good.
I mean,
the one thing I loved seeing this week, and since we're talking about the Panthers, I'll bring it up. I loved seeing McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley come out of the weekends healthy.
well, McCaffrey came out healthy. What do you have? 10 carries, 30 yards, and a touchdown, something like that. But
Yeah, 4
Barkley
catches.
actually looked really good.
Yeah.
Not only did he come out healthy, but holy cow! I mean, if you look at his stats, I mean, he got 18 carries, 164 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
His average carry is 9 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Jones, he was 17 for 21. He didn't throw it a lot, but really high efficiency. 188 yards, two TDs, and a pick. If they play like that every week,
Yeah.
and Jones can be that efficient with Barkley,
Yeah.
Again, teams are going to start to stick 8 in the box. But if you're 17 for 21 every game, you're going to go 28 for 33, 28 for 34, something like that. You're going to have a really good season. Now, again, I think Tennessee just did not have a good game.
No, they kind of, I think they sort of blew that more than the Giants won it, but yeah. I just Derrick Henry had 21 carries, 82 yards. Average 3.9, no touchdowns.
Well, like you said, I mean, Tennessee is going to live and die by Tannehill. He went 20 for 33 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, 266 yards. You look at that and you're like, oh, okay, he had a good game. But they only scored 20 points. And I mean, they let the Giants score 21. So
I don't know. Their receivers scare me.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Well, they don't have any.
I mean, Robert Woods, is he going to be healthy?
He had 1 catch.
1 catch to him?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Kyle Phillips?
he had 6 catches for them. But,
Now-
Hillard had 2 touchdowns on 3 catches.
That's
but,
their backup running back, and he's good.
Yep. But anyway.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So, any glaring things we need to discuss from week one?
Not really. I mean, the Vikings just really ran over the Packers.
Yeah.
The Chiefs looked like the Chiefs were going to. The Chargers, who we both had, beat the Raiders in a good game.
Yeah. Joe Burrow struggled a bit. I think that was more
I got to give you some kudos. You said the Eagles would win, but the Lions will be better than they have been. And they put up 35 against a good Eagles team.
Yeah.
Again, they lost, but I got to give it to you, man.
A team like that, man, they eventually just have to learn how to turn that corner, right? You have to learn how to win these games.
Yeah, man.
So, I forgot the guy's name. Who's their coach? It's
well, it was Patricia, but he's gone.
Lions. Yeah, it's not Patricia.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
He's a big offensive lineman guy. I can't remember the name, but I love his mindset, and they sort of play like he played. No,
I don't know. I don't know who it is, but the one last takeaway I'll say is the Steelers beating the Bengals in overtime. That was a heck of a game. That was a fun game to watch.
Yep.
Yeah. Are the Steelers for real?
I don't know.
I mean, the Bengals. We know the Bengals are for real. I mean, the
Bengals are for real. The Bengals are going to win 10 games at least.
The two teams in the Super Bowl last year lost. I just realized that.
Is Najee Harris hurt for a while? I know he went out of that game hurt.
I don't know.
That's going to be a lot of it.
I have him on my fantasy team, and he's got projected points this week.
Okay.
So my guess is he's healthy, but I have to look. But
we got to talk Packers too. We can't get off of this without.
Yeah, they didn't look good.
No.
7 points?
Talk about no receivers. Who's Rodgers going to throw to?
Well, like we said, I mean, Rodgers is usually pretty good at creating receivers. Rodgers and receivers reminds me a lot of the Broncos and running backs back in the day, 20, 25 years ago, where if you just gave anybody the ball, that offensive line made you a 1,000-yard rusher. I feel like Aaron Rodgers makes guys 100 reception guys.
Right.
But yeah, they do not look good.
Yeah. So you want to do, and I'm just kind of springing this, I was thinking about this yesterday and then I forgot to ask you about this. I want to pick kind of a player of the game or player of the week every week. And I have my eyes on somebody who I'll say and let you think about it while you pick your kind of player of the week.
Yeah, you're dropping this on me
I just
right
dropped
now,
it on him. That's my fault. But I think, there's a couple guys that kind of, but I'm going Justin Jefferson.
Oh, yeah.
9 catches for 184 and 2 touchdowns.
I mean, that's unbelievable. I'm going to go with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Again, I think he's the best player in the league.
I thought you might have went Barkley just because we talked about him.
Yeah, but I mean, you go 26 for 31. You have 297 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He did throw 2 picks.
Yeah.
But a 91 quarterback rating, I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody had a higher rating than that. I don't know.
That's good.
He had a hell of a game. But yeah, I mean, Barkley is a close number 2. Jefferson, I mean, if you had a position player by the week, Allen at quarterback, Barkley at running back, Jefferson at wide receiver. Yeah. But the win funnels through the quarterback, in my opinion.
Sure.
So, I'll stick with Allen.
Yeah,
if you want to do a player of the week, we'll start thinking about that.
Yeah, we'll start doing it. I meant to put that in the lineup and tell you, and then I completely forgot.
You ruined it, Mike.
Well, you still did it. You would have taken Josh Allen anyway. So
yeah, probably.
He's your MVP. You're going to take him every time. Every week.
I mean, if he does what he did last week and dismantles the Super Bowl champs, I'm probably going to pick him every week.
Anything else we need to talk about, or you want to go right into pick 'em?
We can go right into pick 'em.
I think as the season progresses, we'll have a little more NFL to talk about. But
yeah, I guess I should probably write these down. What I had to do last week was go back through the podcast and listen to it, which was good for our listenership because it looked like we had a lot more listens than we really did. But NFL pick'ems. Here, do you want to recap last week? I know you don't actually. You probably don't want to recap last week.
I don't know how I finished second in the pick of my play for money. I finished second. I don't know what the heck I did.
You finished second
different.
in this one too, Mike.
Well, that's good. Top 3. I get a medal.
So I went 11-4-1 with the Colts tie, and Mike went 8-7-1.
That's brutal.
8-7-1. It's week 1.
I'm gonna hawk you down, though. I'll catch you.
Well, I mean, 3 games. You caught me in college. That makes sense. But in the NFL, I don't know, man. That's kind of my NFL is kind of my thing.
I like your chances to stay ahead, but
we'll see.
I got some upsets in mind.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, so week 2 pick'ems. You want to go over these?
Yeah, man.
All right. Again, we kind of do the shotgun kind of. Not much conversation about it.
Yeah, and I don't study a lot of these before we do it. Just for this, I will for the money league, but for this, I kind of just like to go off the top.
All right, tonight, Amazon Prime.
You
have to have Amazon to watch it, I guess. I have it.
We got it. We're good to go.
But, Chargers Chiefs.
I'm going.
Chiefs are favored by 4.
I'm going Chiefs.
Me too. All right. So we're both KC. All right. Colts Jaguars. Colts are favored by 4. It's in Jacksonville.
That could be game of the week though. Chargers Chiefs.
Yeah.
Just so we're going. Okay, who'd you ask?
Colts Jaguars. Colts favored by 4. It's in Jacksonville.
I'm going Colts, and I'm going for them for my lock too for our.
Oh, don't ever pick them. That's a bad idea.
My lock.
I'm picking the Colts. If they don't win, here's a hot take. If they don't beat Jacksonville this week, and they don't fire Frank Reich, I'm gonna start writing petitions.
And he will do it.
I'm going to start writing. I'm going to be like Jim Irsay. If you don't fire this guy, like I'm going to have to find another team. I literally have a Peyton Manning signed jersey right behind Mike right now. That I'll take a picture and tweet it just so you guys know that I'm really
who'd you get that
serious. From? But yeah, I got it from you.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm going to be really pissed off if they lose this game.
He is the guy that will start a petition. Just so you know.
Heads will roll if the Colts don't win this game. All right, next up, Jets Browns. Browns favored by 6.5.
Browns.
Yeah,
Big.
that's probably a no-brainer. All right, so we are the same on the first 3. Commanders and the Lions. The Lions are favored by 1.5
at home. That's like almost not being favored. Like
that's you're right.
You get like the 1.5 for being at home.
Yeah,
right?
It used to be kind of 3 points was the you got a field goal for being at home, but so they're really like not favored by 1.5.
I think I'm gonna go Lions.
Damn it, Mike.
I told you I kind of like them. I like their attitude. I think they're gonna win more games this year.
I'm going to pick Washington just to be contrary. I think it's a pick 'em, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like Wentz, but I just can't see them losing to Detroit. But we'll see. All right, next up, Tampa Bay against New Orleans. Tampa Bay is a 2.5-point favorite. This could be game of the week.
This could be. I'm going to let you pick first.
All right, I'm going Tampa Bay.
So you don't steal all my picks.
I'm going to probably pick Tampa Bay every week.
I'm going to pick Tampa Bay. Yeah. I don't. I'm not super big on Jameis Winston. I think he throws a lot of interceptions.
He also throws a lot of yards and touchdowns.
He throws a lot of yards and touchdowns, and I have Michael Thomas this year, which was a great fantasy pickup, by the way.
All right, the battle of the 2 injured running backs, the Panthers and Giants. Giants are favored by 2. Vicky.
So,
You know I tag timelines in YouTube. I didn't know if you knew that. So like you can click the time and it'll go right to it. I might say, Vicky, you have to listen here. It's just so she can click it. And she'll hear your pick on this.
I think it's man. It's like I like what I saw from the Giants last week a little bit. I think I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Vicky, oh my God.
I think I'm going to go with the Panthers, but my heart is with the Giants. I hope they win. I hope Saquon stays healthy. I just, last week I talked for 10 minutes about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I can't take New York here.
Well, I mean, I'm picking Carolina too. Again, sorry, Vicky. I just really don't believe in the Giants. If Daniel Jones goes 17 for 21 again and Saquon runs for 150 again or whatever, I'll start believing in them, but I have to imagine that's a one-game fluke. I'm not huge on Baker, but I love McCaffrey.
Right.
And I just think the Panthers are a better team.
I like some of the weapons they have. Yeah, I'm going Carolina, but I do think, and I could see a scenario where the Giants win that. So,
all right. Next up, we have New England and Pittsburgh. New England is a 2-point favorite over Pittsburgh.
I'm going, and I'm assuming that Najee Harris is healthy and going to play. I'm going to go Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't know. I
think
see
he's
going to
play. He came out injured, right? He sat out the rest of the game, right? Last week, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't see how New England. Again, this is another Vegas trap right
game.
Here. Yep.
You love the Vegas trap game.
New England sucks. Pittsburgh just beat the AFC champions last week.
Yep.
And New England is a 2-point favorite in Pittsburgh. This is definitely a trap game. They want you to take Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm going to take New England.
Yeah.
Just because Vegas is going to screw me again. That's all right. But I'm going to take New England. All right, Dolphins and Ravens. Ravens, 3.5-point favorite in Baltimore.
I'm going Dolphins.
Wow. All right. I'm going to go Baltimore.
I'm completely homer on the Dolphin picks. Unless they play like Buffalo.
Yeah.
But I do really like Miami this week. I like where their defense is at. I think we see more from Tua. And I like Chase Edmonds. Watch him to have a big game against Baltimore.
I think Lamar goes insane this week.
I do not.
That's just my take. All right. Next up, Falcons and Rams. We have a 10.5-point favorite for the Rams. I can't see
Rams
you
are pissed.
Yeah, I can't see you picking
Rams.
anybody else.
Nope.
Yeah. Rams, that's the easy pick. All right, Seahawks 49ers. The 1-0 Seahawks and the 0-1 49ers.
We would have thought that would have been different, huh?
And the 49ers are 8.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
It's in San Francisco.
Niners.
Yeah, me too. I can't see them blowing it 2 weeks in a row.
Yep.
Bengals and Cowboys, they're both 0-1. It's in Dallas, and Cincinnati's a 7-point favorite.
Bengals.
Got to be, because no
Bengals
Dak.
big.
No Dak.
Yep, no Dak. If they had Dak, it'd be a closer game, but...
All right, we have Texans and Broncos in Denver. The 0-1 Houston Texans against the 0-1 Broncos.
So
Denver 10-point favorite.
Texas doesn't have a loss yet.
Yeah, that's right. I got to imagine we're both
I'm going
picking
Russell
Denver.
Wilson. Yeah, Denver.
All right, Cardinals and Raiders. This could be game of the week. You have Arizona and Las Vegas. They're both 0-1. Las Vegas 5.5-point favorite. It is in Vegas.
I'm going Vegas.
Yeah, I got to as well. Just
At
because
home,
of the line.
I think if it was in Arizona, I'd go Arizona.
That's going to be a great game, though.
Yeah.
It's a 4:25 game. It's one of the 4 o'clock games on Sunday. And then Sunday night, you have the Bears and Packers. The 1-0 Bears and the 0-1 Packers. And the 0-1 team is a 10-point favorite. And Green Bay.
Go in Green Bay.
Yeah, me too.
Green Bay big. Rodgers finds a way to get it done. He's got to find a receiver he likes. So.
And then we're really getting screwed here. I can't figure this out for the life of me. We have 2 Monday night games now, which we didn't have 2 Monday night games on week 1. I don't like it at all. 7:15 and 8:30. You're going to have 2 on at the same time.
If we're having 2 Monday night games, can we do 6 and 10?
I know.
Or something where we can watch them both?
This is trash. All right.
This is terrible. My TV will be on Titans Bills just because we have a huge Titans fan in our house.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of which, Titans Bills. Buffalo's a 10-point favorite. It's in Buffalo.
I'm going to apologize to my stepson Drew, but I'm going Bills big.
Got to. I mean, come on.
At home. I mean, if it, I think even if it was in Tennessee, I'm taking the Bills.
Tennessee might be 0-2, and you have them winning the AFC South.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's week 1.
Well,
we're only in week 2 now.
Yeah.
So.
And then I have Buffalo as well. And then the last game of the week, Vikings-Eagles, which I think will be a very good game, which I'll have both games on, but probably going to be watching
Mr. 4 TVs.
Yeah, and I'll have the Dodgers on, and I'll have something else. Vikings, Eagles.
So what's on the 4th TV? You going Dancing with the Stars or like America's Got Talent? Or are we doing a sport?
I don't know. The idea of putting the
Jeopardy?
TVs up, not to divert too much off the conversation. The idea with the TVs was I could watch what I want, and then my wife could watch what she wants.
Yeah.
And I don't need sound. Sports. I'll commentate myself.
Yeah.
And then March Madness came. We added a couple TVs, and so anyway, that's how we had 4. So ideally, I like.
It's like a sports bar in there.
We call it, so I live in the neighborhood called the Oaks of Vero, and actually with my neighbors, we call it TOOV, TOOV, the Oaks of Vero Sports Bar. TOOV, I have a logo and everything. I'll tweet it.
Best Super Bowl party around.
Yeah. So anyway, I digress. Vikings, Eagles, that's the game I'll be watching because I think it's going to be
I'm going to have both TVs
better
on.
than 2.
I'm not going to lie.
And then Eagles are 2-point favorites. It's in Philly. Who you got?
I'm going Minnesota.
Okay. I'm going to go Philly. Just, again, for
let me catch up.
Yeah, for contrary sake. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different.
See, I could take the lead if I go undefeated this week.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Well, it could.
Baltimore's probably going to beat Miami. But
all right. Do you have anything else for our NFL chalk talk?
No, I'm good, man. I like the format we got. I think as we go, we'll have more obviously news to talk about, but I like it this week. Let's wrap it up.
Well, we have one more segment.
We do.
All right. Here comes Fact or Cap.
Let's go.
Fact or Cap. All right, and it's time to wrap up this podcast with our favorite segment, Fact or Cap. I ask Mike 2 questions. Mike's going to ask me 2 questions. What do you got for Fact or Cap this week for me, Mike?
Let me look it up. So I remember one of them was, all right, I got it. Let's do this. Will FSU be ranked? Now, I think I already got your pick 'em on this, so I don't know if, will FSU be ranked this time next week? Fact or Cap?
Well, no, they'll be 2-1.
Right. You have them losing, so it kind of killed our...
But I get what you're saying. But hypothetically, if they win and they're 3-0, would they be ranked after beating Louisville, LSU, and Duquesne? All right. Again, I have them losing. I think... All right. Let's do this. If Florida State wins by 3 touchdowns, they'll be ranked.
I think they're ranked either way if they win.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I think, there's enough attrition in there, enough teams lose to somebody's going to pop out of there.
Yeah.
And if they win, I think they're in.
Okay. All right. So then I'll ask you, and we kind of already got this, but will Judge hit 62 homers?
Like I said, I'm going to say fact on that. I think it would be more surprising if he didn't. But, I get a little worried about if they're playing playoff possible teams at the end of the year and not pitching to him. But if he gets his at-bats he's supposed to get, I say fact.
All right. What's the next one?
I got will Paul Goldschmidt get the Triple Crown?
I think Schwarber's going to screw him on home runs.
I think so too.
Yeah. I could see the average in the RBIs.
Is he still up there in average?
He's I think so. Now that being said, I think Paul Goldschmidt's the NL MVP, regardless of what happens.
Sure.
But he's got to be 5 points back in average.
He's back in average too now. Yeah.
Oh, really?
24. Yeah, 5 points back in average.
Okay, behind Freeman.
Now he's also behind in home runs and RBIs. So
yeah, well then no,
now he's in second for everything.
But he may be. I was going to say he's going to finish probably top 3 in all 3,
which is impressive.
And he's going to be on a division-winning team, and they're going to make the playoffs. And even though Arenado's playing great, I don't think they're there without him. And I do think he's the most valuable player in the National League. So no Triple Crown.
Betts gives him any kind of a run. I think Betts is the only one that could maybe
for MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you can make an argument that without Mookie Betts, the Dodgers aren't 20 games up, but without him, they're 10 games up.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, no. Okay. Cap, he's not going to win the Triple Crown. Fact, he's going to win MVP.
Agreed.
My one for you is Miami is a top 10 ranked team by our next podcast.
They are.
All right. Well, if they beat Texas A&M, they're probably going to jump
up. It's college football is a little weird. The 11, 12 teams in front of them have to lose to. They're not going to.
Well, yeah, who are they going to jump?
I mean, they can hop somebody, I guess, if they play a nobody.
Right.
And don't look impressive, kind of like Georgia and Alabama flopped.
Right. Alabama did not look impressive.
They did not. But I say fact. I say they're top 10. I think they win the game. And I actually think they win by 10 or more.
Okay.
So.
All right, so that's it. So for Mike, Judge hits 62. That's a fact. Miami's a top 10 team. That's a fact. For me, will FSU be ranked? Cap. Will Goldie win the Triple Crown? Cap. So
fact, cap.
Yeah, you got 2 facts. I have 2 caps.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it from us on the third episode of the 772 Sports Podcast.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
See you.